Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ryan, and I am the best man. I'm your entertainment for this evening. And in case you didn't know, I was once a magician. JR was actually a magician too. We would do magic as kids, trying to impress our friends and family members. And in fact, if anything, we'd use it to impress girls. And it's as funny as it sounds, it was actually quite effective. That's how I got married, actually. I'm trying to be like David Copperfield, right? I'm going to try to share some stuff about JR, mostly bad stuff. I'm going to do my best to keep it short, but I think today is a really great day. We have two people coming together, sharing their love, and we have the beautiful Barbara, and then of course we have JR. JR and I met through similar circumstances that he met Barbara, a mutual friend introduces one to another. 18 years ago, I met JR in the 8th grade through a good friend of mine, Ryan Buenafant, a good friend of ours, through a game called Magic the Gathering. My youngest brother and I would walk from Westlake Shopping Center, but that's pretty close to where we live, and we'd walk up John Daly Boulevard to Junipero Serra, and that's where Comey and Century is right now. And we would go up there and we play Magic the Gathering in his garage. That's how our friendship got started, because of a game. And interestingly enough, that's how Barbara and JR's relationship grew. It grew through a game. Fun fact, in case you didn't know, JR actually is kind of into video games. JR was actually the #1 ranked player in World of Warcraft, ranked guild leader. It's actually quite amazing for a game that has almost 10 million subscribers. So that's how we met. That's how we grew up. We grew up together, two 13-year-old kids playing games, but we didn't really grow close until much later in life. The next 5 years were pretty life-altering, and arguably this is a time of your life where you change the most. From 13 years old all the way up to 18, 20 years old, you become an adult. You go through puberty, you tend to be a pain in the butt for your parents sometimes, but it's not just that brought us closer together. It was a series of events that occurred that kind of brought us together. Fast forward 2 years later, I tragically lose my mom, and me and my brothers have to move away from the area to Fairfield, an hour away. A year after that, my best friend Ryan has to move away with his family, and then a year after that, we have JR and Bien's middle brother Joven passes away. And the circumstances for all our family changes, to death, to people moving away, to people separating, have been sort of awkward and weird. This all happened in a very short period of time. I was talking to JR the other day, and I was like, man, we've been through a crap load of stuff together. JR found himself moving to Pinole, and we become close, not just because of proximity, he was 30 minutes closer, but because of circumstances. We shared these tragedies. As a kid, you don't really see this stuff, the forest before the trees, so to speak. But if Ryan were here, he would say, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. As a kid trying to make sense of it all, it's sad, but we don't know any better. We each have our own way of dealing with difficult circumstances. Neither of us knew it at the time, but we would become the best of friends. It's during all of our shenanigans that we grow a really amazing friendship. Online dating with America Online, Instant Messenger, trying to get buff in the gym, 24-hour fitness, stuffing our face at Hometown Buffet, trying to make gains. We've made a crap load of mistakes and made a lot of bad decisions. What makes JR a polar opposite to me is that JR is really lighthearted and has a really great sense of humor. He's very non-serious, serious when he needs to, but definitely very lighthearted. He's always trying to get you to laugh, trying to get you to smile. Loves to eat, loves to play games, and of course, lots of a good amount of sarcastic humor as well. He's really great to be around, and that's probably why Barbara's by his side. Look at the bride. Isn't she gorgeous? Barbara, the bridesmaids, the maid of honor. You ladies look absolutely amazing. You only meet a handful of people in your life that are like JR. The people you grew up with during your teenage years are few and far between. People you haven't seen in years, but then can pick up right where you left off. In so many ways we change as we grow older, but there are some parts of us that remain constant. I've always prided myself on being the smart one, always the clever, ambitious one. Having a family was never a priority of mine. I wanted to climb the corporate ladder, build a business, and that hasn't really led to where I thought it would. But I was lucky enough to meet a wonderful wife and get married, have 3 children. Geez, I can't believe I have 3 kids. JR has always known what's important to him, so I wanted to thank you publicly for that, because you were right. A conversation in our Camaro, in my Camaro, driving to I think San Fran, and we would just talk, and it really is about love. It's about that. It's about love. And the bride Barbara, I know you are a perfect fit. I don't remember JR ever being so happy. This is a great day. The joining of these 2 houses. In recent conversation with another good friend of mine, it got me talking. We started talking about kind of like what's important, talking about love and relationships. And the one thing I came up with is, life is, just kind of a thought that sort of made a lot of sense to me, and I'm sharing it with you right now. And that's life is not about happiness. I'm not going to say it's not important. It's a big chunk of life, but you can't really appreciate the highs without the lows. You can't appreciate the sun without the rain. You can't. It's very difficult. That's why. That's how you get better. That's how you get stronger. You grow and adapt through difficult circumstance, and that's what really life is about. It's about dealing with difficult circumstance and sharing it. That's actually what marriage is about. It's about, because there's a lot of people out there that would rather deal with it alone, and sharing it with someone else doesn't necessarily make it easier, but it makes it better, because in some circumstances it's actually harder to share some of the difficult stuff you go through. And that's what, when people make the choice to get married, that's what it is. It's not like, oh, you're looking for the perfect person or the perfect situation. It's always going to be, you find the best situation, you find the best thing for you, and then you make a calculated decision, you make a calculated risk, and you share these things, because it's what life is about. You're sharing, you're connecting with people, you're giving up a piece of yourself. I've always believed that love is really about vulnerability, not so much about anything else. You're basically allowing yourself to provide you the opportunity to get hurt. And as dark as that might sound, that's just my belief of kind of how it is. And you share this piece of yourself with someone else, that at the end of the day it becomes worth it. And it's like anything else. It's a road to travel, and I think that the choice here I see is probably one of the best I've seen in a really long time. And I'm really happy that these 2 come together, because JR is a great person. I know that Barbara's awesome, just as the time I've spent with her. And that's what this event is about. It's about sharing love and sharing kind of like your experience and your stories. Like these little few snippets of stories that I share with you they're very short, and there's a lot more to them, but they really happen. And it's kind of weird how I'm sharing them with a bunch of people that may kind of know some of the story already. But I wanted to say, give a toast here to JR and to Angelo and Barbara. May they have the best of life and continue to build their family. And thank you for listening.